Okay, so today we're heading to Sarnia, Ontario. As you know, I'm from London, Ontario, so is Mark. And we're heading to Sarnia, Ontario because I was telling him last night about a story when I was a kid. I was in Scouts in Sarnia, Ontario, where I was born and raised. And after Scouts, I had seen something up in the sky. And there were kids outside on the street, and they said, "Look, there's something in the sky. It's a helicopter." And I looked closely and I thought, that's no helicopter. It wasn't making any sounds, but it was kind of like a white light, and it was going from the north over the river to the south and then back again. And I was looking and looking at this thing and I thought, this is no helicopter. And I was waiting for my mom to pick me up. It was after Scouts was over and I was standing out there in the road all by myself. And I'll tell you, when I watched this thing, I was getting goosebumps and shivers, and I was getting kind of scared. Because eventually these kids took off, they really had no interest in it, and I was watching this thing. And it seemed to be watching me. It was getting a little bit lower. It seemed to be up at about maybe 900 feet or 1,000 feet. And it was getting lower, and as it got closer to me, it was really a spooky thing, but it appeared to be spinning sort of so fast going the other way, and there appeared to be almost like a big lens in the bottom of this thing, and I saw things moving around behind the lens, and it was kind of blurry, and I'll tell you, it was spooky. And then just then my mom arrived to pick me up, and I was telling her about this, and she says, "Oh, Rob, don't be silly, it's probably an airplane or a helicopter." And I said, "No, it wasn't, Mom. It was a UFO." And I hate to use that word because everybody associates UFOs with people that are a little bit wacko. But I was about, I'm going to say, 12 or 13 years old, and it was very vivid what I saw. And so when I told my mom, she said, "Let's just go home. Don't worry about it." And that was that. So I told my brother when I got home, and, nobody really seemed to believe me about this. So anyway, next day, when I got home from school, my mom said, "Rob, look, there's something in the paper about what you saw last night." And she got the paper out, and she described how the Selfridge Air Force Base in Selfridge, Michigan, on the other side of the river, we live right by the States, or on the Canadian side, they had scrambled these jets and were chasing this so-called unidentified flying object. And then finally it took off at a high rate of speed, and that was it. So it was a good feeling knowing that I was validated what I had seen, that it was real, it wasn't just made up. And I didn't cut the thing out of the paper. I wish that I had of. And so last night when I was telling Mark about all this, he said, "Why don't we go and get it from the paper?" So I called the Sarnia Observer. They said that it's in the library on microfilm, I think. It's not digitalized, so we can't do a Google search. So we're on our way now to Sarnia. We're going to go to the library. We're going to try to look this up. I'm going to think that it's somewhere in the 1964 to 1966, 1967 time frame. We're going to look through the newspapers. I know it was May of that year. And we're going to see if we can find the article. I'm going to show you the article, and I'm going to take you behind the church where we had Scouts, where it's across the river, and I'm going to show you exactly where it is where I saw this happen. So we're on our way to Sarnia now, and we'll check in with you in a minute when we get to Sarnia to the library. So here we are in Sarnia, and this is the church where I went to Scouts at, St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church, back in the mid-60s when I was around 12. There's Mark over there and his girlfriend Christina. They're checking out that tank. But anyway, this is where I came out, and there were kids here, and they told me to look at the helicopter in the sky. And that was right up about there, and I told them it wasn't a helicopter, and it was slowly traveling from the north to the south up in the sky. That building wasn't there at that time, because this is like, what, 40 some odd years ago? But it was right up there, traveling from the north to the south, and then getting lower and lower until it was like 800 feet up or something, and it just scared the heck out of me. Okay, we're going to go to the newspaper now and see if we can find the article. You guys ready to go? Yeah. Let's check it out. So we're at the Sarnia Public Library here, And this is where we're going to go through the old microfilms of the Sarnia Observer newspaper and check out the event from the mid-60s and see if we can find it. So let's head in. So Mark and Christine are helping me. We're going through the microfiche here for the 3 years, 64, 65, and 66. And we're going to take a look through them. So this is the old microfilm or microfiche system. Microfilm, I guess.
So there's the bump. You line it up with the bump on this. Stick it on there. And put it underneath these two wheels here. Slide it in a ways. So you're sure it's going to go. And then push this blue button. And let it wind itself onto the other side. Once you have 4 zeros here, you can make it go both directions with this. You go clockwise to go ahead, or you can go counterclockwise. The small spider legs is the zoom focus, and the larger one is to fine-tune the focus. And up above it is a thing like a jar lid. That's the thing that I use to spin it around if it's not facing the direction you want. Okay?
So we got to go through 3 years for the month of May for 1964, 5, and 6. So we got a little bit of work ahead of us. Thanks so much. So we've actually found the article. This is from Tuesday, March 29th, 1966, and you can see the headlines here. The lady at the library made a couple calls, and I guess to our reference department, and she found this date, so we went right to this article. So we're now going to print this off. So I've walked down by the river. This is actually showing you a better view of what the river looks like. This is the park they have down by the river, and of course, look at this. We have a ton of ducks. Hi guys. There's Mark, of course, and Christina getting some shots, and we're going to get some fries later. Well, after our successful find of finding the UFO article, we came down by the bridge here in Sarnia. There's actually 2 bridges. And as you can see, this is the St. Clair River. This is the bottom of Lake Huron, and it's quite a nice day. So we're just going to go for a little walk and then head back to London.